I feel like no one talks about how much healthy relationships and the endings of healthy relationships suck. Coming from someone who has had a really bad breakup and a nasty breakup and hated that person afterwards, and now going through a breakup where neither of you do anything wrong and they treated you amazing and they are still an amazing person, I can assure you that this hurts a lot worse. Because when you're going through a bad breakup, you start to see, like, oh my god, wow, they said all these things to me and they did all this shit and they made me feel like this all the time. And you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm better without them. And then you're not with someone anymore that literally made you feel like you were actual sunshine. That fucking sucks. And even when you know, it's like a mental battle of like knowing the relationship was not working for you and still loving that person with every single bone in your body. It's like, how is that? How? How can I not really believe in this relationship and still kind of want to be with this person? Someone make it make sense.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Black, your internet, relationship, and breakup coach. Today's topic, this is exactly why your ex will always second guess their decision to break up with you, especially if this happened. Now, before we get started, I just want to say, if you are watching this video, thank you. You could have been doing anything, but you chose to spend a few moments with me, and I really do appreciate it. Welcome to my home. So, if you watched the clip previously, it's a very emotional and vulnerable moment. And what is very surprising about that clip, especially when you see how deeply hurt this person is. And by the way, this is why I blocked out her face. This is not about looking for this person and sending them messages. Please do not do that. This is just for the education of the people watching this video. And so what's surprising, right, is that this person is the dumper. That's what the little nuances in the video tell me. See, one of the key phrases in there is, she says, when you know the relationship was not working for you. All right, so that little context there tells me she's the one that broke up with her partner, yet she's in so much pain, she is distraught. And a lot of times as the dumpee, you don't get to see this side of your ex. You think that they don't care, you think that they are stone cold, and you almost feel like they have no emotions. But a lot of times that's not the case. See, here's the thing. When I watched that video, what is apparent to me is that there was a clear gap in interest level and attraction. Now, if you listen to the beginning, she's saying how it was a good relationship. No one did anything wrong. So there's no big trigger moment, someone cheating, nothing like that. They're both two good people. But one of the things that stuck out to me, if you listen closely, she says this person treated her amazingly and, treated her like literal sunshine. A lot of times when you hear words as descriptive as that, right, they treated her like sunshine. To me, that's a euphemism for put her on a pedestal. Seriously. And these things happen in a very subtle way over the span of a relationship. When you are in love with someone, absolutely, you need to treat them special. You need to show up in the relationship as your best version. But a lot of times the mistake that some people make is that over time, as you continue to fall deeper in love with this person, you start to place their needs above your own. You start to actually not look in terms of the relationship and doing what's best for the relationship. you're just focused on them. And if you realize, you start to walk on eggshells because you would do almost anything to please them. Now, why this is a bad thing, because at face value, that sounds great. But if you think about what a relationship is, right? A relationship is essentially a partnership. You're a team. Each person has different skills, different experiences, different backgrounds, and all of these different things that you both been through really inform and add value to the partnership, add value to the relationship. If you know what marriage was like, hundreds, thousands of years ago, it was all about basically pooling resources together, pooling, the family name, right, to establish a legacy. And so how does this affect the relationship? When there's that gap in interest level, when there's that gap in attraction, and you start to treat your ex like they are the best thing on the planet, even above yourself, now you're no longer showing up as an equal partner. Think about if you wanted to make an important decision. Let's say you wanted to buy a house together, and you liked house A and your partner liked house B. And there was definitely valid reasons why house A could be plausible. But again, your partner is looking at house B. But instead of sharing and expressing those concerns and really looking at the pros and cons of both items, you just turn into a yes man. You agree with whatever it is they say because you think this is the best way to make them happy. And this could be anything. This could be decisions on where to go eat, where to go for vacation. Maybe you're supposed to hang out with your friends one day and your partner's like, no, I don't want you to do so. And you're like, okay, I'll do whatever you want. Over time, your partner will start to feel that you are just going along with whatever they want. And again, now they are missing out on all of the value that you naturally would have brought to the relationship. All of the experiences that you have, all of those, the expertise that really help them. And so it feels like, they're not with a partner anymore. They start to lose respect for you because, again, you sacrifice a lot of times your self-worth, your self-esteem, your own goals, your ambitions, your friends, all in the attempt to keep them happy. And over time, their attraction continues to drop. Now, some people will watch that video and say, oh, she sounds like a fearful avoidant. See, in my experience, a fearful avoidant usually will tend to blame themselves. They will say things like, I don't deserve you, or I'm not good enough. Because in their childhood, that is how they felt. They truthfully felt like, they were not deserving because their caretakers didn't show up for them in a certain way, or they were not consistent with doting on them, showing them love. And so a fearful avoidant does tend to have anxious tendencies as well. And then sometimes as the relationship gets closer, they will pull away. But most times consistently, they will blame themselves. This is different. Even though she's not directly blaming her partner and she's not blaming herself, the key there, right, that I really hear when I see, oh, treated me like sunshine, treated me like an amazing person, all of these things sounds to me like there was a little bit of a gap in attraction. And when this happens, it kills the polarity. It feels like a one-sided relationship, and over time, they will lose interest. But here's the thing. This is why it's important. The good news is that when you are a good partner, it's almost like, think about, let's say you were trying to make a recipe, all right? You're trying to make, your grandma's favorite chili recipe, right? You already have all the ingredients. You have all the tools. You have, everything important that you really need to make a relationship work. You already have those things. That's why there's so much conflict. But what's missing is just that little bit of salt, right? Just that little bit of pepper that makes everything come together and stick. And this is what polarity is like. The good news for people like you, if you were a great partner, if you were kind, loving, affectionate, but over time, like I said, you put this person's needs way above your own and started over pursuing them and started to make them feel, right, that loss in attraction. The good news is if you shift your behavior immediately, if you go into no contact and you give them space and they actually see that you are no longer putting them on a pedestal, what happens is that just like that brief moment that we see over there, there's a constant second guessing. There's a constant conflict because they're thinking to themselves, this was really a great person. This is really someone I should be in love with. This is really someone I should be obsessed with. So why is it so hard to be together? Why is the relationship not working? Again, a lot of these things are going on the subconscious level. She does not know consciously why, again, this person can be so great in a lot of ways, but the relationship is not working for her. So if your partner said or postured in a way that looks very similar to those things, and you know that truthfully you are a kind, loving, affectionate partner, that is really good news because this can turn around. In those quiet moments, especially when you're in no contact, when you're not reaching out to them, in those very quiet moments when your partner is alone, they have the time to reflect. The biggest mistake that her boyfriend or her partner or someone in your shoe would make is if, because you see this vulnerable side, you stay around as her friend. You stay around as her friend, again, putting her needs above your own and thinking that, well, if I just stay friends, over time, I will convince her to be with me. What's really going to happen is that she will start to see you more as a friend because obviously you're a great person, but the partnership, the romantic part is just not seeming to work. So if you stick around and you keep messaging and you keep being there for her, eventually she will move on from you completely, or he will move on from you completely. You must give them the space, this time. Let them shed a few tears. Let them reflect. Let them feel that pain and loss. And they will reach out to you again. But it's your job to make sure that they are clear. If they are trying to be in your life, they're not going to get to be in your life just as friends. We're working towards, reestablishing a connection. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, comments, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section below. If you want to talk to me about your situation and your breakup, click the first link in the description and we can talk about it. I look forward to talking to you soon. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.